Hi, I'm Jay Sobel, and I'm a senior at Newton South High School. I'm sure many of you have heard from a teenager that you don't know what it's like for them. At least, that's the stereotypical teen response to any attentive adult. But I have to admit that I've come to believe it. So I would like to play into this stereotype and say that teens of my generation are having a unique experience. I am a member of a generation that may very well become known as the Facebook generation. And if it does, I want everyone to know that I came up with that term myself. In fact, I think I'll make a status about it as soon as I'm done here, just for proof. Because what could be truer than the cold hard facts written on the wall? My wall. The journey to my Facebook wall is not as simple as you may believe it to be. I sift through any shared content to make sure that it's portraying the best me, and that it's not making me look like the moody, easily frustrated, and constantly stressed teenager that I am. Everyone on Facebook does it. We groom our profiles so that only our best photos are on our front page. And when we write what's on our mind, we first consider the implications of whatever we put out there. Even though I do this self-editing, and I know everybody else does too, I still look at my newsfeed with the belief that it's some sort of natural flow of information. But in fact, that's irrational. There's no way that any of my peers are experiencing the perfect, party-filled lives they portray on their pages. The rare status in which someone talks about a hardship in their life is often supported by multiple comments and promises of further communication. That seems uplifting, but the fact is, unless people feel that they have a guaranteed audience, or at least a good chance of a response from others, they won't make posts about eating things, or about negative feelings at all. That's not to say that people should constantly be posting their fears and doubts alongside the pictures of themselves smiling over every meal they eat. But it would actually be helpful to hear, every now and then, about what makes other teens sad, and what thoughts come to their minds at 3 a.m. besides, OMG, I can't fall asleep, LOL. The Facebook newsfeed can become oppressive. The most vocal of my Facebook friends, the ones who feature themselves in my newsfeed on a daily basis, they all have a similar message that they are broadcasting. A message that says, I'm having a great time, I'm surrounded by my friends, and I feel great. That's not something they need to stop doing. If that's one of their outlets for social tension, then that's fine. The problem arises when we fail to see past their gratuitous self-promotion. The teenager who sees all this information in support of a socially active lifestyle can easily feel that they themselves are coming up short. I've felt that, and I'm sure that anyone who participates in the so-called in your Facebook, and I didn't come up with that one, can tell you that there is a certain sense of isolation that comes with seeing the smiling faces of your peers at some event that you may not even care about. Adults take for granted the extent to which they doubt the various media that encompasses their everyday lives. In 10th grade, we have a unit about propaganda in the context of communist China. We learn that propaganda can be subliminal messaging that affects our thoughts and can lead us to false conclusions. Yet we never think to question the facts that we're receiving from our peers. We just aren't taught to doubt information in the context of Facebook. Most of us read through a chunk of Facebook every day, and it's easy to slip into a state of mind in which all of your Facebook friends are leading blissful and fulfilled lives that you only hear about in their photographs and public messages to one another. I personally believe that a seminar that discusses social networking and seeing past the ways in which we deceive each other could teach the vital skill of skepticism to the modern teenager. We are experiencing the same emotions and feelings that you all felt at this point in your own lives, but today, not only are we bombarded by the ideal body of TV and movies, but we're the first generation in which teens voluntarily visit a website multiple times a day where our peers are trying to convince us that they're as happy as can be, and anyone without photos to publish at least twice a weekend is missing out. Thank you.